Hey kids, thanks for joining me in the garage again today. We're going to be doing a review today of this Nautica model WD-012 backup camera. We're replacing the one that I have on the truck here, and we're going to kind of see how it looks. So like and subscribe and comment down below. See you in just a minute. All right, so just as a first thing, I wanted to let you know that I've actually been offered to get this for free by Nautica, and I guess that's how you say it, Nautica, I don't know, Nautica. But what they've asked me to do is take a look at this. If I give it a 5-star review, which I may or may not do at this point, they're going to refund me that money. So far I've paid for this. I've got their previous version. I really like that. Works really good. It's kind of a surface mount one. And as you can see, this one here is actually a flush mount. So you drill a hole, which they actually give you a little hole saw to drill the hole with. And it looks as though it's fairly good quality. It's got little, looks like tungsten inserts on it. So we're going to see if this works very good. At least I can get a tool with it. They even give you a little pry tool for getting panels off and whatnot. And so we're going to check this out. I'm going to, actually the plug here, the reason I got the first one is because of this plug, and it's the same plug. So I'm not going to have to redo any wiring, anything. I should be able to just run this to the existing plug. But as you can see here, the way this plug works, it's just about as thin as the wire, which, I've not really ever seen that before. And so I always kind of thought that was cool. With these 4Runners, it's a huge pain in the butt running wires, especially thick wires like these yellow RCA wires, because, like especially on the 4Runner where you got the camera, for instance, on the tailgate that flips up, you've got to run it through the tailgate grommet, and it's just a pain getting stuff through there. I had to do that once. Fortunately, I don't have to do that anymore now that I have the 4x Innovations, or 4X Innovations. I'm not sure which one it is either. I've got the rear swing out bumpers. So what we're going to be doing, as you can see, like I said, they've got the little hole saw, the panel, some zip ties, electrical tape. You can also do the surface mount. They have a little couple gadgets, a screw-on cover for the camera electronics, and another little mount thing if you want to use a surface mount rather than the flush mount like we're going to do. Obviously a little bit of hardware for that surface mount little thing here, and then obviously how to wire this up. And so it kind of tells you here, depending on what you want to do, you can cut these loops and it'll do different things. So if you rear view camera with a guideline, you just keep them both. Rear view camera without the guideline, you would keep the white loop but cut the green loop. If it's a front view camera with a guideline, you would cut the white loop but keep the green loop. If it's a front view camera without parking line stuff, you just cut them both. If it's a side view looking backwards, you would keep the white one, cut the green one. And then if it's a side view looking forward, you would just cut both of them. So kind of interesting. I think what it ends up doing is it kind of changes. Well, obviously the green loop is where the guidelines. So if you cut that, it'll do the guidelines. But if you cut the white one, it'll flip the camera image, is in essence what it's doing. So kind of cool there. You can see flush mount or backup camera where a bracket mounted or surface mounted. And so yeah, instructions, we don't need those. Like I said, I already got this thing wired. It's kind of cool with the connector. You can see here, just has a little arrow. I don't know if you can see that, but little arrow there to kind of line up with the arrow on this connector. right there. And so, yeah, you just kind of line those up and bam, you know. So I've already got this piece installed in the truck, and so we don't need this at all. You know, it also comes with these janky little connectors. I hate these things. These are the worst. Don't ever use those. Do a proper wiring, solder stuff. So let's get over to the truck and we'll put this in here and we'll do a little testing. All right, we're over here at the truck here. So first thing to do is we'll get this lower strip out and then pop that out. Got just a little handy cordless. Oh, let me grab a little bucket to put those in. I get these things for free, so I might as well use them. We'll pull this up a little bit. Then you'll be able to get this lower panel off. So the reason we got to do this is back behind this panel over here, we have the wire for the camera. Because in order to get the side panel off, got to start there. Next thing to get is this one in here. And then the one over, there's a couple over here. Then that piece will come off. This piece here will come off. All right, next thing up top here is you've got this light. There's a screw behind it that then will let this top piece come down. And then there's one more piece over by the passenger side door we'll have to take out to get this entire panel out. And you can see there's screw there, screw there, screw there, and screw there. There's a total of 4. This little panel here, there's a little clip right here that comes out, and then you can get that right out of there. And then this piece will then pop out. So let's grab this. And as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a total of 6. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those that'll come out in order to get that panel out. All right, one more spot over on the side that we need to get over here. Then we can get this side panel completely off. Okay, here we are over at the driver's side door sill. So there's 2 screws here. We can pop this panel up and then get this panel here on the side pulled out too. So just zip these out real quick. And then the easiest way to get this panel down is to fold down the back seat here. And then there's clips up here and then a couple right here to where you should be able to just fairly simply pop this panel off. All right, so that allows us access to this panel here, and then we can get to the wires behind it in the back. So let's go back to the back. All right, so to get this panel off, you've got, another screw right up at the top. And then pretty much you can just pop this panel out everywhere from there. I usually start in this little hole here on the side and just kind of try to gently pull. So you can see it'll come off up at the top there. Now we don't need to take this whole thing out, but I do want to make sure we get some room in here. Let me go down here. I'll get this off on the passenger side. There you go. So this will now give us access to where all my wires are running for this backup camera. So you can see down here in this mess of wires, this is the actual wire for the camera. It goes back up to the radio from here. So this connector here, fortunately, is the same on the new camera. So we can just set this aside, and then we've got to go underneath the truck, pull the camera, and then pull a new wire up to here from that camera. So let's do that now. All right, as you can see, I cut some zip ties in order to get this a little loose, got all the wires, and so we should now be able to at least get this all undone. All right, we got that wire pulled. Here's the old camera, and then here's the new one, kind of side by side. You can see they're real similar. As far as the wires go, you'll see here that the new one has just a slightly longer wire, maybe 3 or 4 inches. So that's kind of nice. Make this a little bit easier to get installed. So. Now, next thing to do is drill a hole and pull wire. So stay tuned. So here we are back of the truck, and you can see the hole that the old camera came out of. And so the idea here is, with the little hole punch, it doesn't quite, it'll kind of wallow around in there. And so in order to prevent that, what I'm going to do is actually drill this hole just a little bit lower here. That way, it'll cover this hole, and then I don't have to worry about this kind of messing up this bumper here ultimately. So what we're going to do, we're going to start out with a 3/32 drill as a pilot hole, and we're going to put this punch like right about there. Get it started really well, and then we go. So there's the pilot hole. Again, that's 3/32. And then we'll take this hole punch now. Not sure what size this is, but you know, this will be a little easier, I think, than trying to use that existing hole in there to follow. So. Well, shizzle sticks. That's exactly what I did not want to happen. All right, I got that pulled out, and as you can see there, that just totally snapped off that drill bit. So now that's stuck in there. As you can see, I've got nice chunks out of this. So that kind of sucks. But what I'm going to do, I need to get that piece of drill bit out of there. I think I can just probably punch it out from the back side maybe, or I don't know. So we're going to try to figure that out here, and then we'll be right back. All right, as you can see, I was able to just take a punch, hammer that chunk out there. And so what I did, so this ends up being a 3/16 drill bit. And so I just put another one on there that I had. And as you can see, I kind of got it started here, but I think this will kind of work for what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to hit this with some more WD-40, and we'll keep on trucking. As you can see, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, I'm basically down to just this one tooth there on this little hole saw. So I don't know if it's going to make it through here. There, so, I mean, it did cut a hole, but there's going to be a lot of cleanup left on that. I'm going to have to get a file on there and file that all up. You know, I might get the Dremel out. Okay, you got the Dremel here. Let's see where that gets us. There we go. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. So now that we've got that in there, I think next part is to get back under there and get the wires all run back into the back of the truck. So That was a bit of a pain in the butt. Obviously, I'm going to need to do a little bit of painting to kind of clean up that area I messed up. But otherwise, fairly simple. Like I said, if I can find it here. So if you look at this little hole saw after I've been done using it, you can see there's literally just one of those little teeth left. And so, you know, probably want to get a better hole saw for this, especially, not everybody's going to have these big bumpers like this. This, I believe, is 3/16 steel. And so it's definitely might be a little bit too much for one of these little hole saws. So, let's go up underneath the car here and we'll get this wired up, plugged in, test it, and then we'll go back to the bench and I'll give you my total review. All right, back at the bench here. We got all the wiring done up, got everything buttoned back up. I didn't show that part. It's, kind of boring. I show you how to take it apart. Putting it back together is just the reverse. So back here, you can see here's the old camera. And I'm going to show you, so here's some footage, just kind of an image of what the image on the stereo is of the old camera, this surface mount one, versus the new camera, which is flush mount. And so as you can see, this flush mount one gives you a better angle so you can kind of see behind you a little better versus the surface mount one here. It just, it give you these little spacers that kind of kick it up a little bit, but it just never was quite enough. It did its job. Image quality was pretty good. I think the flush mount one is a little better. And so, I'm real happy with the way that worked out. I know this little cutter here, as you can see, there's literally just one tooth left on this thing. And so, putting it on the flush mount like I did, having it be, this thick steel, I think, not everybody's going to have that. That's something that's a little bit unique in my scenario. So, even the drill bit really didn't hold up to that. So, I made it work, got it cleaned up, got it painted, show you a little bit of that here. And ultimately, I'm pretty happy with it. I think I will, I'm going to give it 5 stars. I think, and just because they're giving this to me for free doesn't really, I think the camera image is good. The fact that they give you this tool in the first place is kind of a plus. I would have ended up getting, my own tool anyway. And so just because this one crapped out, it did make things a little more difficult for the install, but, I can't dock them for that. They gave it a good effort, so I give them an A+ for that. So there you have it. If you like what you saw, hit the thumbs up. If you were just watching for the first time, consider hitting that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Keep on wrenching.